Hey friends, back again. Here we are to Bitcoin Speaks Tarot, and we're gonna talk about some stuff today about my introduction to Bitcoin, and I'm gonna ask about how I found out about Bitcoin and the tools that I used. So that's what we're gonna do today. First we'll do a little prayer to clean our space and make sure that what we get is clear messages that are easily understood and that benefit all of us Bitcoiners. O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds and whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me. I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things that you have made and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise, that I may understand the things that you have taught to my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength not to be superior to my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so that when life fades, as the fading sunset, my spirit will come to you without shame. And that was Chief Yellowbark in 1887. Maybe he knew something we didn't. Anyway, thank you, angels, spirit guides, and anyone else who shows up to protect us and keep this reading clear and clean. I am forever grateful in being able to be the voice of Bitcoin today. Okay, we're going to pull an oracle deck card, Shamanic Healing Oracle deck card. And what's that going to be today? What's our message from the oracles going to be today? Take the middle out, put it on top. Masculine energy today is masculine energy, which is appropriate because one of the things the thing I want to ask about is a book that's written by a man named Saifedean, and it's called The Bitcoin Standard, and that's what I want to read about today. Masculine energy, the sun, and the sun reveals all things. So that makes sense that the Bitcoin Standard, for me, revealed all things Bitcoin. And so that's a good card for us to start with because it's revelation, revealing of truth. So we'll put our little cards away. And as usual, we'll pick a Moonology card because we like the Moonology deck. Again, this is the Moonology Oracle. I'll hold it up. There we go. And what's the moon going to tell us today? We have our guidebook so I can read it. Moonology. Moonology. The moon is usually feminine energy, so it'll be interesting to see what the moon has to say about the Bitcoin Standard, considering we have masculine energy. And what do we have? Oh, we had that yesterday. Luck is on your side. Wow. Okay, so that's all right. We can have the same card twice because it's a lucky card, and we like lucky cards. Luck is on your side. And I think that maybe represents Bitcoin in a big way. So we read that yesterday. I guess we can read it again. New moon in Sagittarius, because if you weren't here yesterday, you didn't hear it. Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the restart of fun after a period of feeling low and the prices being low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. And Bitcoin is volatile. Be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. Prices going up and down. This card is about exploring life metaphorically by exchanging big ideas with others or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important if you're not on board with Bitcoin. Yep. It can also signal that a trip is coming up if that's something you're working to achieve. But the overall message of the card is that whatever happens next will be some sort of gift, even if that simply means widening your worldview. Count your blessings, literally. Write them down or say them aloud. You need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a course or study or teaching. If you haven't read the Bitcoin Standard, this card is telling you to read it. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice via Facebook or a journal or a blog. And then we talk about the new moon, and Sagittarius exudes all this, as it does whenever you draw the card. Nothing is set in stone. With Sagittarius and an optimistic energy, you could attract all manner of good things if you tap into the energy that by expecting the best. And boy, Bitcoin is about hoping for the best. So that's our moonology information, and we've got that 2 days in a row, so that might be important. I'm going to switch out the reading today a little bit because I'm going to use this new deck that I got. It's Color Your Own Tarot, okay? And I got it because a long time ago I wanted that so that I could learn the cards. But the Color Your Own Tarot comes with a nice little book. It's a kit. But I'm sort of a purist, and I kind of like the fact that sometimes you can't see the world in black and white, and photographs in black and white are interesting to me as opposed to color photographs because I see them differently. I see the world in black and white when I use that on my camera. And so maybe we're going to use this as the white tarot deck. The white tarot deck. It sounds mysterious and wonderful. Anyway, we're going to use these white cards because I think I just want to leave them white. And that's kind of different and new. I could always color them in some other time. I have the colored pencils. But right now I've got a lot of tarot decks with color, and I don't have one that's white. This is a unique thing. So I'm going to save this right down the middle. And we're going to do a read on Bitcoin, the book, The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Amos. I got it online. I read it online on my little digital reader. I think it was my iPad, not my Kindle. But anyway. Okay, so we're going to do the tarot portion. Here it is. Here's the card deck. I'll let it sit here. And first time I've ever used it, so we're going to see what happens here. Oh, and here we go. The World card, the end of a cycle. This is like the same reading as yesterday. The World card, the end of a cycle. I kind of like this black and white one. So there's the World card, which means the end of a cycle. Cool. Okay. And what's crossing us? What does Bitcoin feel about the Bitcoin Standard? I think it's an education. It's the cycle. It's all the things you need to know to understand Bitcoin. When I came to Bitcoin, there was a lot of people I worked with, and they were getting Bitcoin, and the pump went to 60, and everybody went crazy, and a lot of people got a lot of money, and I wasn't one of them. And I thought, well, if they're doing it, I should get involved here, and that's when I got involved. But what I did was I just put a little money in, and then it pumped, and I got like from $100 to $300. And I thought, this is something I should find out more about because this is really something. And I talked to my son, and he told me no, it was wrong, and that Bitcoin was bad, which is what I thought, because I thought it was like a criminal money, and it was bad stuff. Anyway, we did some research, and he said, you need to read the Bitcoin Standard. And then he watched me for 3 or 4 days while I read the Bitcoin Standard. And he kept asking me, well, what's it about? What are you learning? And I kept saying, you need to read the book. You need to read the book. And so eventually he did read the book. But when I read the book, I read pretty quickly. So I read it in like 3 or 4 days. And by the time I was done, I was a Bitcoin maxi, and that's all that ever happened. I never needed more. I never needed more research. I never needed to reaffirm what I said, what the book said. I never needed any more than that. That was enough to convince me, and I've been a maxi ever since, and I've been stacking sats, and I'm a happy camper. So I think that the Bitcoin Standard can really, if you open yourself up, it can really change your mind about things. But anyway, the end of a cycle is happening, and the Bitcoin Standard might be a way that we can teach people about Bitcoin and have them learn. So what is crossing us with the Bitcoin Standard? What does Bitcoin have to say? the thing that it's dealing with right now in terms of education and the Bitcoin standard. Oh, emotion, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is about emotion. It's about it's an emotional decision, and I think people are emotionally attached to money. So it could be that holding nothing back, an enormous outpouring of emotion, open heart, bliss, comfort, elation, exuberance. And I think that's what I felt when I read it, and I understood that there was finally a place that I could put my value, and it wouldn't be taken or stolen or manipulated away from me. It wouldn't just disappear one day. And I think that's what the Ace of Cups, it's holding nothing back and jumping in and saying, yeah, Bitcoin's for me, the outpouring of emotion. It was comfortable. It was finally no fear and going forward. So I think the Ace of Cups is what potentially the Bitcoin standard can do for you if you read it. Anyway, okay, so what is behind us? And what is behind us is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is saying, I'm done with this crap, I'm walking away. The first 7 chapters of the Bitcoin standard is the history of money. And then finally, you get to the end of the book, and the book talks about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin solves all the problems that money has and has been created with money. And they call it the Babylonian magic money system. It's all of the things that can then trip you up when you're using money. And this is saying, I'm walking away from all that crap. I'm going to something that's honest and true. And Bitcoin standard will teach you that these are all the crappy things about money that we want to get away from. And the Bitcoin standard will teach you that Bitcoin allows us to walk away from all this emotion, all this fear, all this manipulation, all this distrust. All of that goes away when you start using Bitcoin, because Bitcoin fixes all that. I guess that's our Bitcoin fixes that card. I suppose I could look it up and see what the Eight of Cups is. The Eight of Cups says, letting go of what you have created in order to move on to a better future. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, and so what crowns us? What is above us? What do we hope to achieve by reading the Bitcoin standard? What can the Bitcoin standard help us to achieve? The crash of the system, death. Death is not a bad thing. Death is the end of something in the cards in terms of, it's the end of something, the end of the fiat system. What we can hope to achieve is the death of all this crap, and we can move to a new place that gives us fulfillment and answers our needs better. Okay, and where are we moving toward? We're moving toward justice. Wow. That's a major arcana. We got another one here and another one here. So that's 3 out of 5 cards that are major arcanas. This means it's like written in stone. The book isn't written in stone, but the message here is Bitcoin is written in stone. Justice means all the bad things that they do, when it ends, we will see justice, we will see fairness. Judgment is a different card. They're similar, but judgment means that you've made a decision about something and you're discerning and you're making a judgment. But justice is seeing after the decision is made, fairness. And that's what Bitcoin is bringing us. It's bringing us fairness. It's bringing us, no more manipulation, no more stealing, honesty and integrity. I was thinking about that because they said that the money system a long time ago, rumors 5 or 6 years ago, was that they're going to bring about a money system and it's going to know about integrity and it's going to know about people that have good intentions. And I think what's going to happen is the Bitcoin holders, as the source, are going to be able to evaluate whether people want to steal them or steal from them or take advantage of them. And when they approach, they're going to say, no, I'm not going to deal with you because you don't have good intentions. You have a lousy track record. You're a thief. Nobody likes you. You have bad intentions for using the money if I give it to you. So I'm not going to give you any sats. I'm not going to give you any Bitcoin unless you straighten up your act. And I think that's the integrity that we're going to see. We're going to move to a place of justice where I might have money, but I'm not going to deal with you if you're a jerk. And that's Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin, and that's the Bitcoin standard. People need to read that. That should be required reading, like they call it. Okay, and what kind of tools do we have to do this? Five of Cups, again, we have discernment. This card keeps coming up in every reading that we've had so far. 3 readings, and it's showed up every time because we're cutting our losses, we're getting rid of the crap. And we have discernment. We have the discernment in order to bring justice. And the discernment is a tool that we use. And so by having our happiness and our world restored, we have the discernment to maintain it because we know what's right and we know what's wrong. Because we read the Bitcoin standard and we know what money is and what it isn't. And it isn't anything that's good for us, and it is all the things that we want. It gives us security. It allows us to love people safely. It allows us to have our sovereignty and to be able to build without it being torn down or people coming in and, just taking it away from us. That's what happens. You're nice, you build something up, and then they come and they destroy it. They torpedo it. And that's not going to happen anymore, not with the Bitcoin standard and everybody understanding and then Bitcoin moving forward. So justice is really a place that we want to be. And I'm going to slide these over here. Remember masculine energy, because Saifedean almost is a man, and he wrote the book. And money is kind of masculine. And remember, luck is on our side. So we don't have to worry because we don't even need luck. We have a good product that works well, and that's Bitcoin, a good product that works well. And how does Bitcoin feel about the Bitcoin standard and everything that the Bitcoin standard can do? How does Bitcoin relate to the situation of the Bitcoin standard that explains it all? That's like having a kid and having an instruction booklet. We get the Bitcoin, but we get an instruction booklet to show us what not to do, or what has been happening, and what we do in the future. Anyway, here it is. The 3 of Wands. That's exciting because you see there's nothing in the landscape. It's a new place to go. We get to build and start all over again. And the first one was the energy. The second one was the idea. And now we're moving forward. We've got plans. We're firmly planted in the ground with the wand, and we're going to move to a whole new place and create a whole new world. So that's the Bitcoin standard, and Bitcoin is going to allow us to create a whole new place where it's just. And let's see, the environment and the place where we find ourselves with the Bitcoin standard. Where does it allow us to be in terms of Bitcoin? 10 of Swords. Oh, well, there's another death, death, death. We can die in the fiat world, but we're not dead because, in essence, we find ourselves in a place of collapse and a place of destruction. But really, what we're doing is we're building. It has to go through this in order to become a landscape that can be renewed and built. And so we find ourselves in the place of destruction at the moment, but we're going to build and we're going to be better. Let's see what the 10 of Swords has to say, just for, why not? The conclusion of a thought cycle and an ending which has finally arrived. Misery, mutilation, bleakness, not always a card of a violent death, but it's the conclusion of a cycle. Remember our first card was the cycle? And this is a cycle we have to go through, this Bitcoin cycle. I think eventually we're going to grow beyond Bitcoin and we're not even going to need that. But at this time, this is the cycle. And this is the conclusion of the fiat cycle. We're moving into the Bitcoin cycle. And that's what the Bitcoin Standard is telling us too. It's telling us that there are a lot of crappy things going on in the cycle, but Bitcoin is going to fix all that. Bitcoin fixes that. Bitcoin fixes that. Okay, and the hopes and fears that we have. The Knight of Cups. He's slowly moving forward, emotionally stable, but very slow moving. He's the slowest moving knight in the deck, and his heart is full, but he's slowly moving forward. And that's Bitcoin. It's like this this train that's just chugging along, and you can't stop it. It's just going and going. Maybe the brakes don't work anymore. That could be. We could be past the point of where the brakes are going to work on Bitcoin. It might be a weapon. We'll have to do a read on that too. But Bitcoin is just chugging along. It's moving along, and it's got our interests at heart because there's the emotion there. It's going to bring us forward. It's going to deliver. It's going to deliver because this guy always delivers. Okay, let's see what we have to say for the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. A romantic and poetic invitation to flattery and romance. Advance, invitation, presence, enticement. So, again, slowly moving. It's a wonderful thing. It's going forward. Its appearance is beautiful, and it's inviting us to join along. And what's our final outcome? The outcome, the death of the fiat. And where are we going to go with the Bitcoin Standard? What is the Bitcoin Standard going to do for us in terms of Bitcoin? Nine of Wands. Here we are in our place, and we've got a fortress set up, and we're ready to go. Not trapped, but standing firm, confident. Let's see what our Nine of Wands is telling us. Nine of Wands. Breaking through barriers into a new reality. A strong opponent, a formidable antagonist. That's us. Strength and opposition. So if we stick to Bitcoin and we stay strong in our Bitcoin, we have strength and opposition. We have a new cycle, the death of the old system, and we have strength. Strength and opposition. Just keep stacking and keep believing in Bitcoin because we're going to get there. We're going to get there. This guy always gets there. And justice. We're going to have a better system. We're not going to have to fight and be emotionally exhausted all the time because they're always screwing with us. It's going to be a just world, and it's going to be a new world, and it's going to be a good place where we stand strong. So the Bitcoin Standard is an excellent way for us to learn how to do these things, how to stand strong, how to have confidence, how to realize that we want justice, and how to deliver that justice. Deliver that justice. Because what we need is fiat to die. We have the discernment. And we're already there. There's the cycle. There's the happiness. This is a gift. This is a gift. And that's what it is. We are getting a gift, and we need to understand the gift. So by reading the Bitcoin Standard, you will understand that gift. And I like these white cards. I got to say, this is kind of fun. And it's even better because I got a dark background. Anyway, okay. So that's good. We did that. And here's our Lenormand, which are tough, man. These cards are like thinking in pictures. I need Temple Grandin here to help me out because I'm not thinking in pictures as quickly as I should sometimes. But we'll see what this little riddle tells us today. I don't know. It's kind of challenging. It's kind of fun. What does the Lenormand have to say about the Bitcoin Standard, the book that Saifedean wrote about Bitcoin? Instead of the gold standard, it's the Bitcoin Standard. And it's a much better, more secure system. Okie doke. Ready? The horse. The clover. That's lucky. And looks like the landscape. So let's see what we have to say about these things. The rider, a man with a top hat on a brown horse, rides down a country lane. Message, news, and information. Okay, well, the Bitcoin Standard is message and news and information. So the Bitcoin Standard is a good thing. 4-leaf clover on a pale background. Good luck, positive opportunities. So the Bitcoin Standard is positive opportunities, things going our way. Yeah, that's good. And where are we going to end up? King of Clubs, gray clouds in a blue sky, hover over a sailboat in a body of water, doubt, unclear, confusion. So I think what it's telling us is that if we use the Bitcoin Standard as news and information, and it allows us positive opportunities to things to go our way, then it will clear up the confusion and doubt that we have about money in general, because the Bitcoin Standard explains it all. Like I said, the first 7 chapters are all about the money that we've had in the past, the history of money and how it's failed in all these different ways. But I think if we take the message of the Bitcoin Standard and use it, it will change us and it'll make us lucky, because then we can walk away from this stuff. And that's what we're doing. We're walking away from this stuff of doubt and fear and uncertainty and all that stuff. So that's what it's telling us, is read that book. And that's what I said to my son, read the book, because I can't explain it all. I can't tell you what it is. You can't hear it from your friends. You can't hear it on social media. You have to read the book and understand it. Spend the time, because it's going to change your life. Okay, and our last animal spirit card. Now see, I have this one. This is the big one. I also have a little personal one that I use, and I wanted to show you that this is a little personal version. It's a little box. It has a book. It's great. But this is the big version, and I like the big version for here because you can see it better, and the cards are nicer and bigger. So let's see what they have to say to us today. I'll put this guy over here. What is our animal guide today? Spirits, ascended masters, angels, past relatives. Show us what the message is for the Bitcoin Standard with the animal spirit deck. Wild and untamed. The buffalo. And what does the buffalo have to tell us? Where's our little bookie? The buffalo. Buffaloes are pretty big. They don't move too quickly. Buffalo. Grounded, yet heavenly, practical, yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise toward the heaven. That sounds like Bitcoin. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Yep, transmuting bad to good. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead. 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 And this guy too. Look to the road ahead. Trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. Life is a precious gift. Yep. Trusting pure presence. Excellent. So the buffalo is telling us that Bitcoin is slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Get over here. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's true. because we have the message. And the luck, slow and steady wins the race. Same card. Same card. So there you have it. There we are, friends. That's our reading for today. And again, I suggest you read that book. I don't have one to hold up because I don't own a hard copy, but there is a hard copy. If you go to Saifedean's website, you can probably just purchase it right from there. It was a free PDF for a while. I don't know if it still is. But anyway, there's a couple other ones he wrote too. But anyway, the one I read is the Bitcoin Standard, and that's what I did the reading on today. All right, excellent. I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you.